like what TT are doing, right? Get Puff onto this pick. He has been the main carry for the team, so prioritizing that makes a lot of sense. Xiaohao, though, will get his hands back on the Xin Zhao, which is honestly where he feels most comfortable. When we see him most active on the map, it is on this pick. And as I say that, he hovers the Lee Sin, but I think anyway, as an answer as well, you could go back towards like something like the Twisted Fate for Maple if they really wanted to. You can also go towards like the Jhin Leona if you want to in that bot side of the map as well. That's kind of what we've seen as quite a traditional counter coming out towards the Jinx. And it looks like that might be the plan here for anyone's legend.
Ooh, going with the Jhin this time around, like you mentioned. But I do actually like the Lee Sin. I think Frigid looked very, for lack of a better term, frigid on the Xin Zhao. Didn't look very strong or very confident in his play. Was using his crescent guard very ineffectively, in my opinion. So maybe it's just a situation of anyone's legend saying, look, we know that Xiaohao can beat Frigid in this matchup, regardless if they take the Xin Zhao or not. And we're happy to take the Lee Sin. So now, TT, where do they want to pick their last
Thresh.
one going? I was going to say Thresh. It's got to be.
Yeah, I mean, Thresh is your best bet, right? Gives you that safety in the bot side of the map, and especially if anyone's legend go towards the Leona, right? You've got an insanely strong bot half of the map that you can look to play around. Thresh is a good answer to the Leona if she comes through. It looks like SouthWind will eventually find his way over towards that pick.
Now, Thresh locked and loaded. They finally listened to what we were saying and might have gotten into the comms of the coaches and just kept spamming Thresh into their ears. But now, where do you want to go from here? I would like to see anyone's legend pick up their support. I don't really feel like you need to go for your AD or your mid lane here, but they might go for it and just try and get some decent matchups for Maple, because like we said, he had a great time on the Akali and might just want to have a similar one going into the next game.
Yeah, if you go towards the LeBlanc, though, it does open up Captain to like go towards a Galio pick. The LeBlanc does beat Galio in lane, but you're able to provide a lot of like safety and also just the ability to roam around the map early to counteract a lot of what LeBlanc wants to do. So maybe that's what I'd be saying anyone's legend ban away, but I agree. I think now you've opened up TT to ban Nautilus, ban Leona, or maybe ban the likes of the Nautilus and the Rakan, and leave yourselves a little bit more safety in that bottom side of the map and just make things easier for it. But there we go, anyone's legend kind of predicting this Galio pick, taking that one off the board and stopping Captain from trying to set up for something like a Camille Galio combo TT style.
Yeah, they're going to try and take that away. Like you mentioned, it does open up a couple of different options. They ban away the Rakan, so you will get either the Nautilus or the Leona here for the side of anyone's legend. Maybe they did recognize that. They said, look, they can't ban all three of the engaged champions we feel comfortable with. Big globals being taken off the board, though, this time around. No Twisted Fate, no Galio. And it's going to be a bit of a tough matchup here now for TT. They're going to have to try and figure out what way they can do it. And honestly, I think QiuQiu is going to be totally fine to go back into the Nautilus. Yes, I feel like the Thresh does a lot better, but maybe not at all. Maybe we're all incorrect.
I think the Nautilus should be the best bet, but we'll see what happens. TT, I think you can bring Captain's Vex into play here. I think it'll go really, really well. Stops a lot of the movements that you have on the LeBlanc and the Lee Sin, and as well providing like the dive tool that can sometimes be necessary when you're playing with the Jhin, because you can always go towards like the Jhin Jace here for anyone's legend. But that is super surprising to me.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, you've got like the ability to just kind of play safe and have the cat roam with Lee Sin, but it's not like you're with like a Xin Zhao or an Olaf in the jungle. The Jhin doesn't really benefit from it, and when when Nautilus was still up on the table, it would have maybe worked out a little bit better. Either way, though, we're gonna have to see what the cat can do. Looking across the TT, though, that's going to be the Camille locked in, and there's that Vex that we were talking about. I think Vex is going to be a super strong pick for Captain mid lane. Great matchup, works really well with what TT are trying to do in this dive composition, and can really cause issues for anyone's legend.
See what they want to lock in as the last one. I would like the Vex. It would be a very similar style. Not quite the same as the Galio-Camille combination, but you do get that big AoE fear. You do have the resets on your ultimate as well, the Shadow Surge. And now anyone's legend, you have to pick into the Camille. They're going to go with the Jax. I really like this for ZDZ. We have said in the previous two games, it has been whichever top laner has been able to get that advantage that really shines through throughout that mid game. And if you're able to get the kills onto this Jax, if you're able to keep that Camille down, huge for anyone's legend.
Yeah, the big thing here, though, is like, you've got a very back and forth matchup that can be influenced by junglers. Frigid, stronger jungler in this matchup, so might be able to try and influence that in the Camille's favor, at least for the early to mid game, before Jax kind of scales into it. And the big thing as well is, like, usually when you see a Jinx in the bot side, you want a Nautilus or a Thresh, or sorry, Nautilus or Leona or something to play aggressive to keep the enemy
The match of the week that you all wanted to watch here on Twitch and YouTube. And we already see TT coming in with a bit of an aggressive move. But Betty, wise to the tricks and has himself a pair of boots as well. So very easy for him just to walk away.
Yeah, but you can see the starts coming through on both sides, right? You got pots galore, 3 pots for Puff, 4 for Betty with that boot start. And I actually don't see the inspiration tree being taken for Puff, going instead towards the Omnivamp coming through off of the domination runes, which will work out well for just being able to continuously stay in lane. But overall, I mean, pretty bog standard start on both sides, just trying to spot out where Xiaohao is. I don't know if he realizes he's on a ward there, doesn't look like it, but all information on both sides as to where everyone is starting.
They know that they know the know, and know what they know. That's the big question.
No.
I don't know. No. Well, we will see now. Both junglers starting on the bot side, the map moving their ways up towards the top. It will be a little bit of a slower start for Frigid, as he does not have any help from his bot lane. But his bot lane is sitting there on the bush looking to try and maybe make something happen. Important to recognize that Chocho went with 2 very defensive summoners, the exhaust and the heal. So looking to try and just make sure
SouthWind.
Oh no, SouthWind. It's going to take a lot of harassment. He should be fine though, but he's down below half HP, and that's already a disaster to the start of this laning phase.
Yeah, missing the flay was not ideal in that scenario. It means he doesn't get the aftershock and ends up taking a whole brunt of damage back. So still though, SouthWind and Puff getting first push here, so should be able to hit the level 2, and just have to be very, very careful. Ready though? Will now back away. It's Frigid as well, moving from bot to top, means that he might be able to get a level 3 gank or level 4 gank off on this top end of the map, but around the 330 mark, we'll have to see if he wants to try and go towards that, or if ZDZ will be able to crash this wave successfully.
Vex has been a relatively very, very new champion. Is she the newest? She is. Zeri would be the newest when she's actually able to play into the game. But we do see the Vex coming in a little bit more, and it's a little bit more situational. Xiaohao has been a very big player of it. And tell me, what does this pick do? What does it give you to your team comp? And why do you see, only picked in situations, not so much an all-rounder?
So one of the big things is obviously the dashes. She's able to get passively her Doom and Gloom up, which gives her extra damage, but also procs her fear a lot quicker when there's a lot of dashes that are around her. So for matchups like the LeBlanc, who want to try and go in with the distortion, it works out perfectly because you end up being able to get that often. As Frigid and Xiaohao just going to be ships passing in the night, it looks like, with Vex having pushed the mid. But yeah, it also acts as like a really good dive potential because you've got the opportunity to go in with the ults, get this big AoE fear off. She's also just a pain to deal with in the lane because her Q is on an incredibly short cooldown and hits super hard. But Captain now might be in trouble.
He's in a lot of trouble. Will still get rooted down. He's already used his flash. He has the fear, though, to keep him alive. But the flash forward there from Maple keeps the kills equal out. Gets first blood, but a nice response here from Frigid means they are able to continue with that equal score line. More action than we've seen in the first 2 games in the first 5 minutes. Both teams coming out on top.
Yeah, I mean, you should get the reset coming through here from Maple. Just about able to escape, but will be Captain falling down. Unfortunately, the Captain couldn't get that ignite off. Felt like maybe that could have been the ticking time bomb that took them down, but doesn't matter anyway. Nice job. 1 for 1 coming through, and Maple getting a little bit of it better there thanks to Xiaohao's help.
Nah, that was not the hook shot, wall shot you want to be seeing coming out from New. Very lucky that the counter strike was already down, as we could have seen another summoner Brone at minimum. But let's have a look at the replay here. And this is just smart here from the side of Xiaohao. He recognizes that the bot lane scuttle was taken, so they're not expecting him to be there. But just goes a little bit too far forward. That fear coming up just the right time. Yeah,
that's also the big one, right? The fear, that was what they're waiting on to be used. Maple having to flash forward to secure that, but it's just a bit unfortunate, right, that Frigid didn't have the damage to take down Lee Sin faster and start chasing after the LeBlanc. But either way, still going to be the 1 for 1 trade. Jungle on TT getting the kill. Mid laner for Maple getting the kill there instead. But I still see that, like, overall, you're still going to be relatively okay. I think the big question here is if Maple can kind of snowball this into something. Always has the opportunity to try and, like, take the fact that he has these early kills and look to pick off Puff around these skirmishes.
Now we wait to see where the next real objectives will be taken. It looks like it's going to be the Dragon here for TT. They push it mid, bot, jungle not really in a position to contest, so that's going to be pretty easy for them to get. Nicely done by them there. And actually, Betty going with the early steel caps, so getting a little bit of extra sustain, or sorry, survivability is probably a better way to put it in that ball lane.
So while we have a moment, I just want to talk about why New is sitting so far behind in CS. Now, it is only about a 6 CS lead, but when we're watching every time we go top, right, New is trying to proactively use the hookshot wall shot to connect on towards ZDZ. What you really want to be doing is like using these quick trades with your Q, and as soon as you see that counter strike, you actually try and escape away as New. You can see that, right? You try and escape away as New after those quick trades, using the fact you've got the grasp of the Dying, you got the empowered auto attack coming off your Q. But instead, what we've been seeing is that New is trying to leap into ZDZ, which means that when ZDZ has the counter strike, he's just able to stick on top of New and get these favorable trades. So I gotta say, for New, not looking fully comfortable in this matchup, and it's why we're seeing ZDZ being able to run away with this.
Running away just a little bit, the honey fruit will help with those trade patterns as well, and that's the positives you get when you're able to trade so aggressively. You will have priority in that jungle. You will be able to try and maybe take out those spoils of the river, or as hysterics like to call it, the lettuce. Not quite sure why it's lettuce. They're clearly melons, but or grapes. Either. Depends on the size. Is a melon just a large grape? Is it? You tell me. Why not?
I feel well, different, families of fruit exist.
I didn't do biology.
I don't know. Why is a strawberry not a grape? These are like
because the seeds are on the outside.
You know what, gang top, get out of here.
Yeah, get us out of this weird rabbit hole that I've brought us down into. We will see Xiaohao just helping out his top laner to push that one back. It is just resets coming out from everyone on the side of TT. They don't really have a pushing wave, and anyone's legend, I was going to call them Al there for a second, are just very happy to keep pushing, forward, keep looking, keep fishing to see if they can make something work.
I just realized Xiaohao would make an amazing addition to anyone's legends, because then it's Al Xiaohao.
Oh.
AL show AL, but yeah, what I was gonna ask you, what have you been drinking with that question about the grape? But you don't really drink, so I know you're
only with you.
That's my superpower.
That's your super. The funny thing is, together, your superpower is getting other people to drink. My superpower, and Dagda, you can confirm this, is that I will get free drinks when I meet up with new people. It's not from the new people, just like randomly from like the bar and stuff like that. It's incredible.
It did happen like 3 or 4 times when we were in Shanghai, which was
you didn't believe it. It happened once, and you were like, all right, whatever. And then it happened like 2 more times the same night. You were like, okay, what the hell? This is weird.
Either way, though, coming back to the game, 8 minutes has been hit. TT moving up towards this top side. Xiaohao has the kitty on top of him, but honestly, I think that once we start to progress further into this game, we're going to see Chocho starting to attach way more often towards Maple. Trying to keep him safe. You've got a good amount of damage and just lockdown that can come through that helps pretty significantly with Maple being able to get these assassinations. However, we are still in the early stages. With Frigid having this Rift Herald, I wouldn't be surprised to see him put this bot and try and save Puff, who's in a lot of trouble.
A hell of a lot of trouble, and he's dead. Xiaohao will take that kill. The curtain call not quite enough to get him going. As we can see now, Captain has got the fear stacked up, but recognizes that this is just Maple's clone sitting in the mid lane. I did have to triple check that myself.
I also think he recognized that when you miss your ultimate, it's a little bit harder to follow up on a LeBlanc, which was a little bit unfortunate for Captain. But you can see there, right, like, very healthy trades coming through from Captain. He's got the shield to keep himself safe whenever Maple goes aggressive. Still has the fear and gets the extra passive auto attack damage with the Doom Gloom. So, or maybe it's just Doom and then Gloom is the other one. But either way, like, still a really, really good matchup here in the mid lane. And Maple's been struggling as a result, but 1-2 on the scoreboard. Still a very slow-paced game. I think we're gonna see these dragons become the big things that break open this game. Hasn't been the second dragon that's really done it, has been the third dragon, but we're getting fairly close to that.
Yeah, if you want to know, the Doom is the fear. Oh no, sorry, I believe the Doom is the auto attack empowerment, and also fear, so they don't get that. And the Gloom is the thing that they can take off of other people. So if you dash, if you get any kind of damage down, you can get that extra little bit of fear stacking. So I know things. I read probably too much into the ability names.
I mean, we have to, right? It's kind of our job.
Sort of. It's sort of our job, you know, depending on how you look at it.
See,
so
the hardest
much,
part is like, as a color caster, it's like you have to know like the ins and outs of all of it, but you really don't care about the name. You're like, this is why this works in this matchup, and then it's like, cool. I know how to explain the outcome of this scenario, but it's like, yeah, I don't know what the fancy term is. Like, I don't know the final funkin' or whatever the hell looks his own.
What a name. I want that to be an ability, the final funkin'. It's just like a disco themed champion just like, you know, shimmying towards you, but
Wasn't that, what was Lux's old one for Herald? Wasn't it like Final Funkin' Nunkin or something like that?
I think it was Luminescent Singularity, was it not? Or was that a W? I do not know.
You keep talking, I'm going to Google.
Yeah, you Googled that. It's now Final Spark, as we see the Rift Herald being dropped into top side. No real advantage being picked up here by anyone's Legends, or rather, no real advantage, no real trade being picked up as they look and try and find something going for them. You will have to get the recall off very soon, and they do get it off. Captain, though, needs to use the fear to try and keep this Lee Sin away, as well as the Cho-Cho and Maple combination, and that's going to be enough to put the pressure into this mid lane, and that, makes it sound like you have an answer for me.
Well, I actually have a surprising answer for everyone, because it used to be called Finals Funko, which is true, as this gank is about to happen.
This gank is about to happen, and I don't know if Frigid really wanted to go in on top of that. They are going to use the hook shot, wall shot. ZDZ, though, is able to get the push away, and they use the Hextech ultimatum. The kick is there, try and disengage. The Lee Sin cannot survive. Neither can the Jax. No, he can. He just about trades it back, but it's still a 2-for-1 in favor of the side of TT. However, Anyone's Legend are still here. SouthWind, though, enough to dissuade this LeBlanc. He's got some Swifties, so he's pretty damn quick, but everyone else backs themselves away. There's no real reason for them to try and go for this all for nothing.
That's such a big win, though, for TT, where they're able to get more kills over in favor of New, and also just being able to pick one more up on Frigid. So nice job to turn that one around. And you've also got the support of the rest of your team coming up to try and protect that. And this is something that we're talking about in Champs League, right? Is because you don't have these big engage tools on the bot side, SouthWind actually has the priorities to start moving from this bot lane and be able to get up towards this top side. You're going to see here, right? Frigid connects on towards with the wind becomes lightning onto ZDZ. I mean, can't get the knock up because of the counter strike, but still it's enough to just follow up and be able to finish this off. The kick from the Lee Sin does knock back New just long enough for them to finish off one back in favor of Anyone's Legend. I want to come back to this. Finals Funkelin was the name of Lux's ult, but before that it was called Ballast Cap, which I did not realize, which is,
that's cool sounding.
Yeah. I had no idea
Cap.
that was a thing. Yeah. I'm down.
More. It definitely doesn't sound like the person who says, two rainbows or double rainbow. Like it doesn't seem like, malice cannon. It's like,
yeah,
oh god.
I would be down for that though. It's like double rainbow. Oh my god, and then it's just the manliest voice in existence comes out.
Malice cannon.
Yeah.
You mess with the wrong country. Just going absolutely insane.
Fool me once, Silas, and then
it's just just a hand on his shoulder as he's like sweating, just like, oh god. Well, we come back into the games, 3 kills to 3. It is 1,000 gold. Actually, not even, about 500 gold lead here for TT. Dragon a piece shall not get a Chem Soul. To end my season, I have casted my last Chem Soul. It was funny enough, it was actually V5 versus Top Esports was my last Chem Soul, but not to happen. We are going to have an Infernal Rift, which I'm sure a lot of people are much happier about, as we wait to see now the trade coming in on either side. There is not a Rift Herald here for either side, so it's just going to be a straight up trade of pressure on the towers, but it is TT who come out ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to bring us back a little bit because we have been kind of talking about some nonsense for this game. TT, because you've got Puff who's super far ahead, he's in a really good spot now, obviously to push in on side lanes, but will actually be a big threat in these late game fights. You got great dive potential that can set him up as well, which is why you can see like Captain already just shooting out that Shadow to see if he can connect. The fear and the lockup that you and Captain offer is phenomenal for Puff. That's exactly what he needs in these fights. Even going the Kraken Slayer is going to offer a huge amount. So TT's team fight is in a really good spot. Also in a pretty good spot for their side lane push as well, because we've got the Divine Sunder, which means we're still going to be seeing. We'll just talk over this, but see the Divine Sunder basically going to even up that top lane matchup. the big issue for anyone's legend is like, how do you actually try and operate effectively here? Because you can actually have Captain match reasonably well on side lanes. So I feel like for anyone's legend, their best bet is to try and draw the TP out for new, and then look to try and make double lane plays using Maple and ZDZ to catch TT unaware.
See if they are able to make it. We did see a lot of ultimates blown in the bot side there for the side of anyone's legend, but just the curtain call and the final chapter, so not really going to be that big of a cooldown, as 30 seconds does happen to be the timer on the next dragon, which would have been second for either of these sides. It looks like TT are going to be in the vicinity a lot earlier, and you have a TP advantage as well for New over ZDZ. So honestly, I feel like TT are just going to be getting this one for free. There's not really a lot the side of anyone's legend can do after they wasted their ultimates and don't have the cooldowns.
Top, though. They're trying to see if they can make a play. TP coming through for Maple. This is what we're talking about, right? Like, try and use the fact that you have that teleport advantage to make plays elsewhere. Rift Herald going to go down. Should give ZDZ more control in the top lane. And oh my god, there you go, Maple. That's the pick combo that we're talking about. The kitty attached to the LeBlanc can do so much for Maple.
Oh my god, and he also blew his flash as well. So what happened? SouthWind just sitting there waiting to try and see if he can help somebody out, but we'll have to get a replay on that. And that's a big swing of pressure now going in favor of the side of anyone's legend. We also see the Hextech ultimatum coming down now into the top side. He's going to use the leap strike to keep himself alive as the ignite is ticking down. The hook shot, wall shot will be there in a second as ZDZ is just being chased down. Won't land it, but another auto attack is enough. Never mind, he's going to have the counter strike. Oh, that's all for naught. It ends up being, and watch while that happened, Vex found the LeBlanc as well. What happened here?
We just don't care about mid lane, apparently. We're all in on the top laners and the top side of the map, but yeah, it does mean that Maple goes down. 2 kills for TT. No Baron, unfortunately, for them to try and look towards that objective. But yeah, we're going to get a replay here. I imagine this is, yeah, the pick onto Puff. So you can see here, right, Maple, you've got a ton of damage. The slow comes through to help set up for the chains, and you just have to pick him and then tries to do the same once again, but the CC is there, and he's got Frigid in the back pocket as well to help him out.
That was just very much unfortunate timing there from Maple. Goes in just as the Doom and Gloom was stacked, able to get that Doom onto him, and that's just going to be a nice trade-off here for TT. They come out the better of it. They do get top lane tier 1 as well, so still scaling up as we go later and later into this game. It's about 1,500 gold lead in favor of TT, and they have a dragon as well. 3 minutes 30 until that next one spawns, and both teams just happy to start stacking up their AD carries. I will say, I'm far more scared of a Jinx in the late game than I am a Jhin, as we do see the Jinx starting to pick up that second item, looking towards possibly a rapid fire cannon to keep them safe and keep harassing from a distance.
It's two different styles for them, right? Like, we talk about TT wanting to play this very heavy, like, team fight style dive or operating composition, but for anyone's legend, it's much more about pick. Like, we saw what Maple can do with QiuQiu trying to pick off some of these low health members, and Betty is going to facilitate that with long-range damage from Protecting Flourish, potential for Curtain Call to follow up if anyone tries to flash away. And that's the way that anyone's legend is operating, which is why we're seeing them now moving into the jungle, getting this control and making sure that for ZDZ, he can just stick down in the side lane and continue keeping this pressure up. It's kind of a 2-for-1 special where you get to give that vision to Jax, but also get to look for picks at the same time.
All right, 19 minutes on the clock. We are going to see the tier 1 and bot side traded back, so it is delayed trade back for anyone's legend. They are ahead on turrets just by the 1, as we can now see Frigid going to have to use that blast cone to get himself back up to safety. Not going to land the deadly first, so nothing really to be writing home about from anyone's legend as they start to try and gain control over this Camille. And I do say gain control over the Camille because the Camille is starting to get a little bit out of sorts for them right now. They're not really able to kind of do for something. Xiaohao needs to be very careful. There is a shadow surge here for Captain. He could just go straight in, and he's all by himself. But now that with QiuQiu and Betty coming in, I feel like Captain recognized there wasn't really an opportunity there for him to get the kill.
Again, though, anyone's legend will get to move out, start to push out these waves, and again, this is how they can create pressure. They know they have the TP advantage. You want to draw members of TT to side lanes, and then use the fact you've got that pick to look for those moments and those opportunities to get kills. Maple now pushing in top. ZDZ in the bot, and with that Blade of the Rune King completed, ZDZ does have more pressure than new. So overall, it's definitely going to be anyone's legend in favor as long as they can play at this composition correctly.
It's all about execution, like you mentioned, playing it out correctly, doing the right that you possibly can. And oh, Captain! He's getting outplayed right now by Maple, but Maple hasn't realized that he's just about going to be able to keep himself alive. ZDZ will pick up that kill. Very nicely played there by Maple, and knowing that he had the support of his top laner to TP in to guarantee that they were going to come out on top.
And that's the advantage we talked about, right? Being able to join in. Now anyone's legend on the chase. Not quite able to connect with the Prowling Claw. So now we're going to move back. It's still got the TP for Maple if he wants to join. And honestly, could maybe look for this Baron with Jax in the area, but not wanting to do so. Instead, looks like they're just going to take it slow, set up vision, and potentially look for the dragon in 40 seconds.
Yeah, let's have a look at the replay here as well, because it just looks like it is just Maple. Looks like Captain finds him and tries to go in on top of him. Does actually use a great Shadow Surge. Nearly predicts it. Very nicely, nearly played. But Frigid not quite able to get him with the flash. Maple playing so well around his distortions.
Yeah, I mean, just about able to survive that. Kind of nuts that even with the Q and the ult missing, that Captain is still nearly able to delete. Sorry, that was... Hang on.
Nearly able to delete. Oh, Nu has no flash and has no hook shot anymore. They are not going to be able to chase him down as he does eventually get that cooldown back. Does have a death stance to keep him relatively healthy against the AD attackers. As ZDZ now moves into this Dragon Pit. They did not go back for Betty, so he's sitting on a lot of gold, probably sitting on at least in Lord Dominic's regard. To try and just keep him going, you have got the rapid fire cannon here for the side of the Jinx. Puff is going to be pretty big if he can get those resets.
Yeah, Puff just needs to be careful of his positioning here, right? Because you don't actually have vision control over this area, so always the potential for Maple to pop over the wall and delete Puff. You see here, just playing off of the pink wards that anyone's legend have set up, and TT playing very slow coming into this. Now that they've actually managed to get some vision control, they forced their way through.
They forced their way through. Dragon will reset. There's the final chapter coming out, so you do not have that big CCing ultimate available for the Yuumi. They're going to try and go in onto Xiaohao, and it's actually Frigid a little bit on his lonesome. Remember, no flash from that skirmish in the top side. Curtain Call going to come in. It's going to be secured by the side of TT. Now, can they get any more damage done? It's going to be the trade of junglers right now, but Nu is doing so well. Captain finds Betty, and Betty needs to get himself away. He's not really in a position to fight this, but do you know who is? It's ZDZ. Never mind, he's dead straight away. Chocho cannot get back to his carries, and now Maple forced to flash away. Double kill for the side of TT's Puff as they keep chasing this one down. It's not going to be a triple. Should be easy enough for him to TP out here.
Yeah, Puff, though, will be able to spot him just as he goes for the reset. And there you go, anyone's legend not able to find the pick before the fight starts, and suddenly TT come alive in that fight. They don't get the, or they do get the dragon, but they'll also get this mid lane turret as well for themselves. And now TT with strong presence on the map can even look to get some control over the Baron area and look for their next team fight. You're going to see it in the replay here, right? You get Betty opening up on the top side with his ultimate, but you can see Captain actually peels off directly to go and deal with that. And because you've now got no real pressure onto his Puff on the backside because Maple's directly in front of him, Puff is able to just completely tear through this fight. So watch Captain moves up to deal with the Jhin. And Puff now, as soon as Maple commits on towards this play with his distortion, that's when Puff goes in aggressively and is able to turn that fight. You can see there, Betty thinks he's safe off on the side, but Captain's found him and hunting him down.
That's just a good team fight coming out here from the side of TT. They recognized there was no final chapter. They recognized that Betty hadn't been able to go back. We talked about that item discrepancy. The Jinx having the rapid fire cannon and the Jhin not having the Lord Dominic's regards is just such a huge power spike. And now TT, they aren't ahead on gold. Well, they are a little bit just at the moment, but they aren't finished this game just yet. They've got themselves into a great position. They have an opportunity. This could be it, Dagda. We could be witnessing the one win, hopefully more, but definitely the first win of 2022 for the side of TT.
Yeah, it definitely feels like it's written at the moment. You know, good ability to play through the team fight. They got good setup. Dragon Soul coming in 3 minutes time. The only thing I will say again is, like, look at Maple, right? Pushing in inside. TT aren't able to answer for this, and the fact that anyone's legend haven't been abusing this is a little bit unfortunate for them, as now TT group up.
T2 group up. Nu tries to see if he can catch someone, but that's a good catch there. Shadow Surge not quite able to be used. ZDZ will survive, but the tier 2 now goes down. I did want to make a quick note that this Yuumi is going towards that Luden's Tempest, so a lot of magic damage available to the side of anyone's legend. If you do get caught by that poke with the LeBlanc and the Yuumi, you will die, because look, nobody, and I mean literally nobody, has magic resistance on the side of it, TT.
I mean, I think the that's a major issue, but we got to see if you can actually set that up as Anyone's Legend, right? Because the last fight, we just saw them go in for a front-to-back fight, not really able to find the picks that they were looking for, and now TT once more will reset just in time. Maple won't be able to take that top inhibitor turret, but when you're trying to play towards Baron, it's a lot easier now to keep that top lane in check. And ZDZ, even working with the team now, TT are just going to try and group up and force objectives with Puff, with New, and make Anyone's Legend uncomfortable in the fights.
Well, minute 30 to that dragon spawns. That will be Soul here for TT. Anyone's Legend trying to just establish themselves back on the map. They are now down about 2,000 gold. Not really the biggest difference at the moment, but Puff slowly scaling up to that Infinity Edge is going to be a big problem now. Anyone's Legend, you need to find an opportunity to try and maybe catch someone out in a side lane. Use the advantage you have with this double TP. You have the TP advantage. You need to make the most of it.
Clearing out the vision on the dragon, making sure that there's no way the TT are just going to try and burst that down. It's hard for them to try and get control over the side lanes at the moment as Xiaohao.
Shadow Surge comes in, the exhaust and the final chapter. Lot expended there from just the ultimate of Captain, and he'll just take the Dark Passage all the way out to safety. They actually wanted that Shadow Surge to land onto Betty as he was recalling on top of a ward.
Yeah, not quite able to make it happen though. We'll just see Captain return to that side lane. Exhaust being down though is pretty big for Captain for these next few fights, because that's one of the tools that they need to try and keep it in check. New just about able to escape from Maple there. Dragon now in 30 seconds, so no exhaust, no ult for either Captain or Chocho, which means that this could actually be a moment where you're reliant on New to set up these big engages. Captain with a very late reset though means, same with actually honestly New, they might not get here before Anyone's Legend can burst this down.
Yeah, Tug comes out as well, and you can see just with the resets there, they are TPing in New, so seeing if they can make something work here, but it is Anyone's Legends who are first on the scene. Look at the vision control they have as well. There is just nothing for the side of TT to tell them what is happening, where they are going, and what they're going to have to be dealing with as they can start off the dragon. Now, can they keep Frigid away? Yes, they can. He's down to low about half HP. They will back themselves away off of the distortion, and he's in a lot of trouble. You can see Xiaohao just soloing this one out. There's the curtain call. They're just going to try and keep everyone away. The first shot does not hit. The stairs gate has been popped. They're going to try and jump onto Xiaohao. He was not able to be taken down, and it's Frigid who falls first. Betty now needs to be in the position to be able to try and carry this fight. As you can see, LeBlanc up to the top side with ZDZ, but Yuumi has fallen. Now the Jinx is dead. Can you do more as ZDZ? He's trying. He's got 2 kills now, and it's him versus the world as they try and look to make this one work. Betty not even going to bother flashing. Anyone's Legend do end up losing the fight, but important for them, they keep the dragon stacking.
And that's just about going to keep them in, and it's a 4-for-3 trade. Not a bad one all said and done for Anyone's Legend. Large portion of that thanks to ZDZ getting access to Puff from that back line. And now TT, you can actually see with New pushing in the spot side, ZDZ in the top side jungle, he may actually be able to get a inhibitor turret here on this bot lane. Xiaohao and Chocho will be up though, so it looks like New is just going to back away.
Themselves going. Anyone's Legend keep themselves in the game. TT, they can smell the victory. They can taste the fact that they might be able to take this series as we have a look at the replay here. Because ZDZ, as you said, just so much, and TT just utilizing their AoE ultimates to great effect.
I mean, the poke onto Frigid was really good to start this off. Makes him very uncomfortable and forced him into that fight. But see here, Puff actually in a reasonably okay spot, but unfortunately the positioning not wonderful because ZDZ is just able to flash in on top of him. SouthWind doesn't get the Lantern there in time. The rest of the fight is going well for TT though. Captain massively far ahead. And now, looks like TT are doing exactly what we talked about, trying to threaten this Baron. They've got the lifesteal, they've got the damage. Can they find the engage?
Here we go. They're going to try and go for it, but the final chapter not going to lock them down. Yes, he goes back in and he gets it. This is huge for Anyone's Legend. SouthWind is dead, so they're going to try and trade this one back. The Hextech ultimatum and ZDZ goes golden, but he's dead now as well. It's all turned back around. Puff goes golden for some reason, and now he's going to be caught out again. A lot of stasis is being used. Betty has to immediately stop the curtain call as now TT pushing forward, trying to see if they can get some more kills, and they will. It's only Betty left alive, and TT are looking for the win.
They're looking to go for the end. They don't care about the Baron. They can see it in their eyes. Long death timer still on ZDZ and on Maple. They've got a ton of damage, but they've got no wave. Betty's cleared it out, so TT won't be able to end the game here. They will turn back towards the Baron off of a strong team fight. TT solidifying more and more of their advantages.
TT, look, terrible for them at the start there. Anyone's Legend really able to get him as we'll look at the replay here, because like they almost look like they're going to go for it because they commit the TP and everything, but TT are just ready.
Yeah, the thing is though, it's onto Frigid and SouthWind, right? So watch where Puff is positioned. Great opportunities here to just fire away onto many key members and not really taking much damage back. And you can see with each shot that lands, anyone's Legend's got to go further and further away. New also just tearing through people now in this late game. Camille, don't know what that was. I don't know if he thought maybe Maple was going to try and come back over the wall, but it
you know
doesn't
what the
matter.
funny thing is? It was a bait. Maple was out. Maple was out with Chocho, and Puff going into stasis baited him back in to try and go for a distortion assassination. So I don't think it was intentional, but it definitely worked because they almost got out with 3 people, which wouldn't have been at the Baron taken away. And because they lost those 2 extra carries in the yuumi and the LeBlanc, it meant that the side of TT could capitalize even further.
Yeah, I mean, it may well have been like predicting that Maple's going to come back. Also, it's now turned into a GA, so it could have been a case of, look, this is going to get used up anyway, so it doesn't really matter if I end up deferring this now. But either way, right, TT now with Baron, all they need to do is kind of just group up and look to push in on 2 waves. You've got you who's shoving in the spot side. Puff can easily take pop shots, and as long as you keep vision control on your sides, Maple can't really look for that assassination.
Saw ZDZ as well. When he's stunned up, when he's not able to get onto this Jinx, it's just not really the pick he wants. Living on 4 items, he is huge right now. And speaking of huge, that's a lot of damage. The fear comes in as Captain. You're going to use the Stark Passage to try and keep himself alive. We will see Frigid just trying to defend his mid laner, but look on the top side. We can see there's a bit of a trade back as Camille gets taken down. Frigid now in a lot of trouble. He gets hit by the Deadly Flourish. And while this is all happening, we're seeing everybody just running around. What happened, TT? You had it all.
I don't know why TT couldn't get Puff involved. It looked like they tried to take the fight too far away from Jinx, and now, with 25 seconds left on that dragon, anyone's Legend can deny soul once more. And look at the wave in top, right? That's a pretty sizable one. I'm not actually sure yet.
The tower's dead,
They took the tower, yeah.
Tower is dead, so they lost the tower. They're going to have to constantly be watching that because there are 2 TPs available for anyone's Legend, and now the dragon is spawning. There is still Scuttle Vision here available for the side of TT, and they are running over with SouthWind and Puff. They don't have a jungler, but they may have the damage as everyone just jumps straight back in. They land the hook, they land the traps. Can they get the ultimate down? I don't think it's going to be enough. Didn't actually use the smite at all there, so ZDZ claiming that one, and now anyone's Legend equal up the dragon score.
And TT, yes, you have that advantage. Yes, you've got the gold lead. Yes, you have the composition that wants to go into these fights, but if you're not setting up correctly, you can see anyone's Legend have the mobility to really cause you issues. Everyone except for Betty is able to jump over walls, and Betty doesn't care because he just shoots over them. We see it here in the replay, right? Captain trying to hide, doesn't realize he's on a ward. Maple goes in, nearly gets the one shot on himself, but also back. But now this is a super spread out fight, right? Puff can't come into this team fight. It's taking place too far away from the wall. SouthWind isn't involved either. So ZDZ has hit that late game scaling where he beats out the Camille, but it just means that then you kind of got to run for the hills as TT. And now moving back up towards this top side, wave is here, and TT looking to see if they can siege down.
I mean, we've got to set up stakes right now, TT. This is probably the best opportunity you're going to have to get yourself a W this season. You need to take the win. You cannot allow this to slip through your fingers. They're still in a good position. There's a 5,000 gold lead. It doesn't mean that much when you're hitting full items on the Jax, full items on the Jinx. 3 items only onto the mid laners, though, and that's where the big difference is going to be. So Maple, if he can get on top of this Vex or vice versa, it could be huge for both these sides, and the AD carries have got to play this smart.
Vision control established for TT in this top side, though. They're trying to bait in this bush, but honestly, there's no real Baron or anything like that, so anyone's Legends don't really need to, but they have.
Oh, they might have. There's the Hexacle momentum coming out on the Xiaohao, but can they even kill him off? They are going to put him into stasis, as we can see ZDZ trying his very best. TT, have you found the opportunity? They are going to take down the GA of ZDZ and the yuumi, so they will get 1, they will get 2. Curtain Call comes out to try and pep around this damage. Shadow Surge, does he take it? No, I don't think he does. He'd be by himself, but that was a good start for TT. They now have about a minute of 2 people dead. They need to make the most of this.
No Lee Syndrome for Captain, and as you say it, right, 5 strong versus 3 on anyone's Legend. They're just going to look to walk this in. Only a single minion, though, with that cleared out fairly quickly by Betty. They'll have to wait for the next round, but This could be it. Anyone's Legend needs to put up a hero play to stop TT from ending the game.
They're going to try it. They see now what they want to go for. There's not a lot of flashes available. As you can see now, Nexus turret number 1 goes down. Great hook there by SouthWind. And that's it. Game over. There's nothing you can do. The Jinx is excited. Betty's not going to be able to go for it. The triple kill coming out right at the end for Puff. And that's going to be enough for TT to get their first victory of 2022.
And look at those screams at their PCs as well. That is a happy TT. 1 win on the board for them, and rightly well deserved, right? Team fighting was on point. Their position was on point. The way that they managed to play the map in a lot of situations was great. Phenomenal stuff from TT.
It wasn't easy. It looked like they were going to lose it. It was 3 very tough games, but TT finally get themselves on the board.